Shameless and Persistent Prayer, reflecting on Luke 11:5-10. Let's read the passage together. Luke 11:5-10, NLT. Then, teaching them more about prayer, he used this story. Suppose you went to a friend's house at midnight, wanting to borrow 3 loaves of bread. You say to him, "A friend of mine has just arrived for a visit, and I have nothing for him to eat." And suppose he calls out from his bedroom, "Don't bother me. The door is locked for the night and my family and I are all in bed. I can't help you." But I tell you this, though he won't do it for friendship's sake, if you keep knocking long enough, he will get up and give you whatever you need because of your shameless persistence. And so I tell you, keep on asking, and you will receive what you ask for. Keep on seeking, and you will find. Keep on knocking, and the door will be opened to you. For everyone who asks, receives. Everyone who seeks, finds. And to everyone who knocks, the door will be opened. This story is told by Jesus right after his disciples asked him, "Lord, teach us to pray," a very wise request. They had seen how effective his prayers were and wanted to learn the right way. The fact that they asked is powerful. Imagine if they hadn't. They wouldn't have learned directly from the Master. That same attitude should be in us today. The willingness to ask, to learn, and to seek God's guidance in all things. After teaching them the Lord's Prayer, "Our Father in heaven, hallowed be your name." See Luke chapter 11:2-4, also Matthew 6:9-13. In this parable, Jesus emphasized on 2 important attributes of an effective prayer: shamelessness and persistence. 2 key takeaways on how to pray. Be shameless, come boldly and humbly before God. Put your pride aside. Pour your heart out to Him without fear of judgment. Hebrews 4:16 says, "Let us then approach God's throne of grace with confidence, so that we may receive mercy and find grace to help us in our time of need." 2. Be persistent. Don't pray once and stop. Pray and keep praying, even when answers delay. 1 Thessalonians 5:17 says, "Pray without ceasing." James 5:16, AMP says, "The heartfelt and persistent prayer of a righteous man, believer, can accomplish much." Examples of shameless and persistent prayer. The woman with the issue of blood, Mark 5:25-34. She didn't ask Jesus verbally, but her shameless action pushing through the crowd just to touch his garment was her prayer. When Jesus asked, "Who touched me?" she came forward unashamed. Peter in prison, Acts 12:5-7. While Peter was imprisoned, the church was earnestly praying for him, and their prayers brought about a miraculous deliverance. Matthew 18:20 reminds us, "For where 2 or 3 gather in my name, there am I with them." Prayer can be personal or corporate. What matters is that it's sincere and aligned with God's will. What about unanswered prayers? Not every prayer is answered the way we expect, but if it aligns with God's will and timing, it will be answered. Ephesians 3:20 says, "Now to Him who is able to do immeasurably more than all we ask or imagine, according to His power that is at work within us." We don't always know God's will, but we do know certain things are aligned with it. Asking for success in our purpose, praying for the salvation of others, seeking guidance and wisdom. See James 1:5. "If any of you lacks wisdom, let him ask of God, and it will be given to him." However, prayers like, "Lord, help me successfully steal my neighbor's car," obviously do not align with God's will. Real-life example. Think of a mother whose child is constantly misbehaving after putting in her best parenting skills. Instead of complaining or giving up on the child, she should continually train the child, pray consistently, and have faith that God will change the child. Even if a year passes and the child hasn't changed, she should keep praying. Why? Because Galatians 6:9 says, "Let us not become weary in doing good, for at the proper time we will reap a harvest if we do not give up." Final encouragement. Don't be lazy in prayer. Be fervent, be bold, and be consistent. Proverbs 16:3 says, "Commit to the Lord whatever you do, and He will establish your plans." There's no prayer too small or too big for God. Keep praying until something happens. And remember, faith is the foundation. Hebrews 11:6 says, "Without faith it is impossible to please God." Be shameless, be persistent, and never stop praying. Thank you for tuning in. Please like, share, and subscribe. My Bible, your Bible. Inspiring a deeper walk with God.